Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm down at my pal's unit tonight. We're going to get his Polo back on the road. It's been a long time coming. I'll flip the camera around so you can see what we're working with and see what we're working on tonight. So here it is. It's a Polo 86C with a 1.4 on bike carbs. It made 127 horsepower at the wheel. What we're doing is we made a full race subframe and adjustable rose joint bottom arm kit a while ago. We're literally going to finish it off, make all the centric spacers and basically get it all prepared for summertime to getting it back on the road. It's a bit dark in here, but as you can see, here's what we made. There's the back axle, which is all framed, which is, you know, all this part here is all the back axle, which we braced. And then you have all this section, which is the rear subframe with now all adjustable bottom arms. We will be, you know, I'll do a bit more better filming later on in the video, guys, of, you know, what all laid out on the floor so you can see it better. So we're back in my workshop, and to show you guys what this is the back axle of the Polo. So as you can see, what we've done is we've towered both sides and then braced it to the middle, which is to reinforce the back axle. And obviously then we've fitted the anti-roll bar, which this rolls joint will bolt through the suspension, and we'll put 2 bushes either side. So we're going to drill and tap the back axle for the bushes, and then it's ready for powder coating and stripping down. Right, so that's the back axle done now, ready for powder coating. There's a few little bits of machining work I have to do off the car. So basically what we've done here is, as well as the turrets and the strengthening bar which goes from the centre, we've made this additional little anti-roll bar. So this is where the suspension sits. So the suspension leg go in there, it'll bolt through the suspension point to tie it into that rolls joint. And this is what I mean by drilling and tapping the actual subframe itself. I'll make 2 nylon blocks which will clamp on here around this so you can pivot on it. The same on that side. So basically then the anti-roll bar can rock if there's any, you know, when there's any twist, it's got some support here. So now it's ready to strip down, get to the powder coaters, and that's the back axle done. So now let's go to the front subframe, start looking at that and start finishing them little bits off. So this is now the front subframe for the Polo. The Polos are not full subframed, they're fully open, and there's a lot of flex in the front of the car, and it is, you know, a serious modification to help with handling and performance and track to have an enclosed subframe. So what we've done is we made this a while ago, and it is basically, these are now what they classed as the bottom arms. This now bolts to the bottom ball joint. It's fully enclosed. Picks up the front mounting points for on the chassis legs, and also this is an anti-roll bar setup, which the car, I don't know if they came with or they didn't. So what we need to do to finish off this now is, these need to obviously go on the end of the anti-roll bar and obviously weld onto this bracket. You know, the 180, you know, flip it 180, that's how it kind of needs to go. So they need welding on into a point, and we need to turn some spacers down the lathe. What spacers I mean is, when you run a rose joint, you want it to run central in the gap. So take a look at the back axle here. You can see a spacer, a rose joint, a spacer. Now with the back axle, I haven't turned the spacers yet, so I'm going to measure it all up, get onto the lathe. I'll do a bit of a time lapse of working on the lathe and getting the spacers done, and we'll get this fully boxed out so we can get off to powder coating. Some machinists are going to cringe at how I've done that, but that's how I've done it and that's what I'm used to. And yeah, the lathe could need a tidy out, but we haven't had time. But anyway, so this is what we've kind of turned here now. So what we've got is we've got a piece of aluminium turned down to the outer diameter we want, the outer face size we want, and the centre hole we want. So what you'll find is when you get a rose joint, that's going to bolt flush up to there, like so. But then having that taper still allows the rose joint to fully, you know, swing backwards and forwards, up and down, and have plenty of clearance without it binding up. So now what we'll do is we'll cut this to size that we need, make 2 of, and they'll sit either side of that rose joint, making the space right, making the rose joint centre, and allowing it to have a full throw. Let's crack on. I've got probably another 8 or 9 to make. Yeah, let's crack on. So to elaborate more on this, this is now the 2 spaces finished, obviously with the rose joint as a sample. And as you can see, it's so you can get a full swing without it catching, and full movement on the full rose joint. Let's crack on. So everything is back from the powder coaters. Everything's looking really nice and shiny and black. We've chased all the threads out with a tap to clean them all out, just in case any bits of dirt and powder coat got down there. Everything's kind of like been pre-assembled, so now we're literally going to press all the bushes into the back axle. All the spaces you would have seen me starting machine for all the the joining areas. Let's get everything together and then let's get it onto the car. Let's get it on its wheels and see how it all fits. Right, so as you saw in the previous one, everything's back from powder coating. We've cleaned all the threads, started putting all the rose joints on. So we're back down at Kurt's. We're going to get the Polo down. We're going to start putting the subframe on, because if you look, they're not a subframed engine. There's no front tie bars or anything like that. We're going to get it on and see if we can get this in somewhere near, or at least find out what parts we're missing so we can order them. And also an interesting one which we found out this week, the Subaru, there's only 388 made. Yeah. Only 388 made. It is the second rarest Subaru available in the UK at the moment.
It's a toolbox.
And it looks like an absolute parcel, toolbox, storage centre, but hey, whatever floats your boat. So let's get this Polo down, let's get all this subframe and rose joint set up on it, and let's see where we end up by the end of the evening and see what we need to order. So that's the subframe temporary put on now. We've temporarily put on with some bolts, and this is why we're doing it too, so we can order the new bolts, the right sizes, the right spacings, a bit of everything. But I've put it on now so we can give everyone a bit of an idea of what we've built. So if you look, we've built the full cradle, which goes all the way to the front and then all the way up, and over the top of that bar is the cradle. Obviously this front piece there is the anti-roll bar. I've still got to machine 2 nylon spacers for the anti-roll bar to pivot on. But then if you look at the bottom arms, fully rose jointed for full adjustment, for the front wheels. So everything there is one complete cradle, fully adjustable with an anti-roll bar. Now, to give people an idea, this is the front of the Standard. So as you can see, it's literally just an anti-roll bar and 2 bottom arms. So this will certainly stiffen up the front end of the car. So then moving to the back, that's the back axle, which obviously we've braced here to stop the flex of the tyre in and out on hard cornering. And then what we've also done is we've also added an anti-roll bar to join to all the suspension points. We obviously need to machine up all the nylon blocks as opposed to like the front. So yeah, everything's temporary put on. Everything looks good. Everything seems to fit. We're going to order all the nuts and bolts, and I'm going to double check all my spacers measurements and then get this job finished off. So thanks for watching this video. That's another job done. I don't think I'll have time to film it by the time it's finished, but thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next project, whatever it might be.